I think we're live for another episode of the Sightreading Maverick. This is now becoming, for the most part, the favorite time of my week. Today, it's a little scary too. Yay! Some interesting requests have come in this week, which delights me to no end. But I was joking with somebody before that this is definitely not an episode that one wants to drink wine before. Not that I ever do that, but sometimes I'm tempted to. So anyway, so we'll see what happens today, and I'm kind of waiting for everything to align. It may not align in the way that I want it to, and I'm actually going to bring up a different page to make sure I can see what's going on. I don't want to miss anybody's questions. Okay. And I may, because I don't want to fuss with this for terribly long here. Aha, I did it. Okay. So the first request today was a set of pieces by a female composer from a long time ago. Her name is Elizabeth Jacquet de la Guerre, and she wrote two books actually of pieces for the Clavecin. And so the request has been to start with La Flamande. So I have no idea what this is. I was expecting there's like lots of interesting ornaments. So when I'm sight reading, I tend to not worry too much about the ornaments. We'll see what happens. Okay. I'm looking at the rhythm going, it's a little oddly written, but that's okay. It's in 4/4, basically, common meter. It is, even though there's no key signature, it looks like it's in D minor. So that's what we're going to go with. I'm really having trouble with this rhythm at the beginning for some reason. I think it's oddly written. So before I start, I want to make sure, because you have to get started off on a good foot, I'm going to make sure I understand what's going on. I'm very silent, aren't I? And 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Okay. So I may kind of not do so well on that first rhythm in the right hand because it's really oddly written and I don't want to spend all day. I'm trying to find where the beats line up in the right hand because I figure that will help the most. Okay. Yeah, the fourth beat like takes this infinite space, so that's what's a little confusing. Allemands tend not to be too fast, and Louis had said that this is basically an Allemande rhythm or type of dance. Yeah, it really is in D minor. There are repeats, that's always nifty. So there's 16ths mostly. So if I do it that speed, it's 1, 2. Oh, before I start, I want to make sure there's nothing else that's really weird. 1, 2, 3, 4. something like that. Oh my goodness, that took me a little bit of time to get adjusted to, especially the ornaments and the meter. The music is written, this is like hand done on MuseScore or something like that, and sometimes MuseScore, I don't know, it tricks my eyes. Enough excuses already, but that was lovely, and a good exercise in ornaments. All right, now the next one is on page 26. I'm glad I wrote that down because there's a lot of pieces in here. So this is the Sarabande. I love Sarabandes. I don't know why. It's just a dance type that really brings me a lot of joy. This one looks like it's in G major. Sarabandes are in 3 beats, and usually with the Sarabande, it's the second beat that is accented. So I'm going to try to get that across, even as I'm sight reading. Again, a lot of ornamentation, so especially the first time around, I will probably not concentrate on the ornamentation. If I decide to repeat, I'll try to add it in more. Anything else? There's a lot of dotted rhythms in the Sarabande. So dotted rhythms can often throw us off when we're sight reading, so I'm making sure I have a sense of how fast those dotted rhythms are going to go within a tempo. So we'll try that tempo. Sarabandes are usually pretty slow. Nothing else looks terribly tricky. So 1, 2. That was a really interesting Sarabande to me because it actually didn't feel as much like the second beat was accented. So I'm not quite sure why that is, but I am definitely not an expert on this period of time. That was quite lovely. The next one is a Menuet. It's in G major. Obviously Menuet, it's going to be in 3. And it looks very straightforward, besides the ornaments. So let's give it a go. It's mostly 8th notes in the right hand. There you go. 1, 2, 3. once to add my own improvisation. That did not go well, but I tried. Because a lot of times in this, well, all the time in this style, it's really expected that when you do the repeat that you ornament it more so than you did the first time. So that didn't go quite so well, but that's okay. All right, the last one that he had requested is a Rondeau, and this one is in G minor, and there are like ornaments all over the place, so who knows. It's in cut time, so some people would count it in 4. I'm going to feel it in 2 because it's cut time, and that's really the intention. It's mostly quarter notes and eighth notes. And this one I really should be ornamenting as I do the repeats, but anyway, I'm not going to. 1, 2, 1. Extra note in there. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that. These are actually really lovely, and I think would be good for students to work on sight reading. They're quite straightforward, especially if you eliminate the ornaments. They'd be very straightforward. The next piece was requested by the same friend, and this is Jacques Offenbach's Valse de Zimmer. Let's see. So it's a waltz. E flat major, it's in 3/4. It starts in E flat, it looks like it switches over to B flat major on the second page, very briefly for a trio, and then it goes back to the beginning section, goes back to E flat, and it looks like it's going to be perhaps an exact repeat. Yes, and I'm just going to note that in the middle of the A section, there's a part that says un peu plus vite, so a little bit faster. We'll see if I can manage that. Something interesting I want to bring up here. A lot of times in waltzes and in dances, you've got this left hand where the left hand is jumping from a lower spot to a higher spot. I try as hard as I can not to look very much, or if I'm looking at my left hand, it's through my peripheral vision. Really important to keep in mind because you just don't have time to go look up and down. So, the other thing I'd say is I focus on the downbeats in the left hand and also the melody of the right hand. The upper chords on beats 2 and 3, whatever happens, happens. All right. Let's see. We do have triplets in the trio. Waltzes tend to be the same tempo unless it's a slow waltz. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. sweet. I really enjoyed that. And it really is a fantastic exercise. I'm a little bit on a, what do you call it, a soapbox right now about trying to get teachers to teach young pianists how to play this kind of accompaniment. You can find them in ragtimes, in waltzes, mazurkas. It's so crucial to learn how to do this type of accompaniment without looking at the keyboard very much. And I've done this with students, and what I find is they really doubt that they can do it at first, but then when they can, it opens up a whole new world for them. So keep that in mind. All right, let's see. Oh, hello, Helene. She just said she thought that Elizabeth Jacquet de la Guerre's music was very interesting. I agree. All right, the last one that was requested by Louis was, my copy's in Russian. I think it's, Romance oublié. Yeah, my copy's in Russian because this is the one that's in the public domain. The tempo indication is andante malinconico. And so obviously this is going to be on the slower side. There's one sharp. It looks like it's going to be E minor, but that's kind of dubious. Another interesting note is that the time signature is 9/8, but in parentheses 3/4. Aha. So the reason it's in, no, I don't know why it says 3/4. Well, my guess is that he really wants to emphasize that it's felt in 3. I don't know. I do that anyway in 9/8, so I'm not quite sure. I'm going to not worry about it. Okay, at the beginning, it really is the hands separate, so it should be very straightforward. Repeating motives. Then then the left hand comes in more accompanimental. I see, okay, visually this is a little bizarre, but I think I can do it. Okay, then it goes to 4 sharps. It goes to, looks like C sharp minor, briefly, and then there's this odd kind of cadenza free section, which, considering its Liszt, that's not terribly surprising. Oh, okay, and then it goes into 2/4. That was good to catch because the rhythm looked really strange. Yeah, so we do get 16th notes in here. But there's no melody with it, so what's the tempo? Not too fast. Maybe bum, bum, bum. 1, 2. was really fascinating too to me. So that was written by Franz Liszt. I wonder if this is later in his life. It sounds very meditative and very simple, which I don't normally equate with Liszt, of course. So I was a little bit scared to look at that, because when I get these requests, I really don't look at them very much. But anyway, that was very straightforward. And actually, that makes me think that if you had a younger student that perhaps wanted to play a piece by Franz Liszt, but so much of his music is a little bit more inaccessible for students, that might be an option. All right, the next piece on the program is by Adele Ewing, female composer. Don't know much about her. And this is her Berceuse, so a lullaby. It's in G major. It's in 6/4. In this case, it's going to be felt in 2 beats per measure, at least. Yes. Oh, and then it goes into 3/4. So when it goes into 3/4, then it will be felt in 3 beats per measure, obviously. So yeah, there's some distinct sections in here. At first, you've got very much a kind of a barcarolle or a berceuse accompaniment with the melody on top. Looks like it repeats, or it's similar here. And then the right hand accompaniment part gets a little different. Then there's this middle section that goes into B minor, and there the melody is in the left hand for a while, and then it switches to the right hand with this 8th note accompaniment. Ooh, that tells me I don't want it to be too slow. And then it returns back to the original material. So the fastest note values are really those 8th notes. Still says misterioso, so we don't want it to be too fast. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. nothing fancy or too complicated harmonically. I did think the middle section was especially beautiful. And one thing that came to mind while I was sight reading this is that the left hand, and sort of in some ways the middle section, has a lot of pattern work. So it just starts a pattern and just keeps in the same rhythm and kind of the same idea of outlining a chord. So when I'm sight reading a piece like this, like I was hardly looking at the notes of the left hand at all during those passages. So if you get into the groove and understand what's going on, then there's really not much you have to do. You don't have to concentrate on every note. So then you can really focus on getting a beautiful tone, really following the melody and that type of thing. And trying to catch deceptive cadences, another favorite thing of mine. Okay, here's where it's gonna start to get interesting. One of the requests was a piece called Mediterranean by Arnold Bax. I'm ashamed to say, and my dog is ashamed to say too, that I know nothing about him. So anyway, I've never played anything by him. So that always makes it a little trickier for me because I don't know his language. Enough excuses. All right, so this should be fun. 3/8. It's an A major at the beginning. I see things like, well, at the beginning it says tempo moderato e rubato, so I get to take time. Yay. Got some scherzando parts, exuberantly. Ay, ay, ay. Some tricky things in the left hand, but they're just outlining arpeggios, basically. Very dramatic, it looks to be, which would make sense. Then it switches keys. It goes to 5 flats, so it's D flat or B flat minor. And I can't tell, honestly, from looking at it. So we'll find out. Yeah, I think it's D flat. Then it goes to F sharp minor, and lots of chromaticism in here, so this should be interesting. So much chromaticism, I can't really figure it out right now. Looks like some odd rhythm things. Oy. It's okay. So there's lots of different sections, so my and there's retards and stuff. So my strategy especially is going to be to really take advantage of those retards and the section changes to catch my breath, to blink my eyes, recollect my thoughts. In terms of tempo, it seems very dance-like. Mediterranean? I guess it is. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, my apologies. That was really scary. So yeah, there were some crazy harmonic things in there. I'm sorry. And it also, rhythmically, it's really bizarre because when it got to the middle section, it's sorry. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It goes across the measure and it totally messed with my head. Okay, I'm not sure how I feel about that piece. I wish I could give it another go, but I would never want to subject you all to that. Crazy. Okay, moving on. Yeah, and moving on, somebody also recommended a piece by Szymanowski, which we're going to skip. It's in there, but we're going to skip that. It was kind of a joke. If I have time, I may come back because I think it brings up a good point of how do you deal with a piece that's absolutely impossible to sight read. But after that last one, I'm not in the mood. Okay, so moving forward. Oh, yeah, that was kind of a long one. Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's no way I could read that. Oh, another hard one. Okay. This one I'm probably going to do. Gosh. What time is it? Okay, you know what I'm going to do actually is I am going to read a little Haydn. No, I'm going to end with Haydn. Okay, we're going to try this. This is by P.O. Ferroud. I think it's Ferroud. It says Prélude and forlane. Now, the person that requested this actually requested a different piece, but it is not in the public domain in the United States. So I decided to find the one piece that is in the public domain and to try that. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm definitely doing this one under tempo. I know nothing about this composer. It looks like it was copyrighted in 1924. It's French. I often have trouble with French music, so we'll see. The prelude is modérément animé, so moderately animate. It's in 2/2, F sharp minor. Very chromatic. Changes key signature all over the place. But the prelude is only 2 pages. So that's good. There's not much of a melody, but what there is in the right hand. Oh, good Lord. Almost all 8th notes. Here we've got octaves. So my strategy, it doesn't go that high up, but I will probably try to follow the bottom of the octaves because those don't have leisure lines. So 8th notes in 2, yada. So we're moving in 5th. I'm trying to get an idea of the harmonic language before I start. 1, 2. last measure is. That's intriguing. I'm going to do the last three measures again. Oh my, that's very intriguing. Okay. I don't think I can read the forlane. It's actually it has 3 staves in it. So I'm gonna shout mercy on these. I did an honest go. And now I'm gonna move on to a Haydn sonata I've never played because I want to do something I can like grasp my or embrace with my ears. We'll see what happens. This is the G minor sonata. I think it's Hoboken 16, number 24. G minor, 4/4. I don't like this edition. I just realized that. That's okay. I have never heard this. Wow. Yeah. This will be interesting. It has like this weird section. We'll find out. Some weird rhythm things. I have no idea. Okay. So in this, where the rhythm gets really weird, I'm going to try to really cling to the beats. Wow, I am just picking, and people are picking doozies for me. All right, it's moderato, and based on what I was kind of just looking at, I'm gonna do it not too fast. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. That was unlike any other Haydn I've ever played. Very interesting. Okay, let's read the last movement. It's Allegretto. It's even interesting that it's just 2 movements, and that was a slow movement. So this is in 3/4 G minor. Because of time, I'm just going to go ahead and launch in and see what happens. Don't tell me that's, oh my gosh, that's great. Crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, that was an incredible piece. I mean, I have mixed feelings about it. It seems different to me. I'm not a Haydn expert, but that was really a thrill, and yet another good example of why I like doing this sight reading experiment. So I hope you all enjoyed this. That's all for today. If anyone has any questions, by all means, about sight reading or whatever, just let me know. But I hope you have a good rest of your day. And now I'm going to try to turn this off. Take care, everyone.